y'all, Natalie here today for a cherry on top, and I'm going to scrap some soccer photos with this legendary collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studio. A cherry on top just started carrying Cocoa Vanilla, and I'm so glad because I love their collections. They always have something good for like boy theme layouts, and I don't love like sports themes when I'm scrapping sports, and so I like that I can use this to scrap the sports and it's not too themey. So what I'm doing is working on my title. I'm going to take the green out of that paper there. And, I got that color and it's going to say he's a keeper because he played goalkeeper a lot, this season. And then, I did not gesso this page. Cocoa Vanilla Studio has really thick paper that's also a little glossy. So I knew I wasn't going to add a lot of liquid. So I rub, Crackling Campfire Distress Oxide from Tim Holtz through this Tim Holtz stencil. It kind of looks like broken glass, kind of like, a soccer ball hit your window or whatever. I don't know. You actually end up not seeing a ton of it once we put everything back on top, but you do see the mixed media poking out. And this collection has orange in it, but you can see up there at the top right, it has some of that darker orange. And since that's the color of his jersey, I decided to really try to bring that out. And it looks like a hot mess here, but I promise once we add everything on top, it looks cool and I like it. So there is one bit of the stencil. I'm just going to soften up the edges because I just don't want those really crisp lines. I want it to look organic. And so I did spritz it with water once there. So my brush is a little wet, so that's what helps it blend. Obviously, I'm not the best at blending. And I know this looks like a hot mess. So first of all, I'm like, okay, let's tone it down a little bit. So I grabbed some of my texture paste, white texture paste. And please note, I took it out of the bottle and I put it on my glass mat there because if I was going back in with my palette knife, it probably would have got some of that Distress Oxide into my, texture paste. And it would have kind of contaminated the jar of texture paste. So now it is dry, and the white texture paste toned it down a little, but you do still see plenty of orange, but that's fine. Like I said, it's not going to stand out that much, I promise. So, I was showing you, I want to use some of those black stickers from the Cocoa Vanilla Studio lines, but there's no black on the background. So I want to incorporate the black so that using the black stickers didn't seem like, wait, where did this other color come from? So I'm actually, I double matte my photos, which is not something I typically do a lot. And feel like it's kind of an old school thing, but I double matte with black and that green because I want to bring in that green and match my title. So there you can see that black sticker that I use. And then I found this other one. This is from like an older Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection, but it works so perfectly with the colors. It's called, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. Boys Rule, I think, maybe. What are we doing here? It's hard to tell. I think I was, trying to change the color of those white, smaller alphas with that green. And, it didn't want to dry well on those shiny alphas, so I end up adding gesso and it kind of smears it and it makes it the perfect color. I go through my die cuts from the Legendary Collection and I pull out a bunch of stars and that season pass tag that I want to use. And this is where I add the gesso over the letters, so you can see it kind of made them perfect, really. And it allowed that ink that I used to color them to dry. That is my journaling, so I'm just backing that in black, and I don't add the lime green at first, but then I do end up going back and adding the double matte. And I'm still trying to incorporate that black, so I ink up the edges of my paper with the black to, again, add that onto the background. And then you'll see me here in a minute go in with some splatters as well. I'm going to do black splatters and some lime green splatters. Don't bother with orange because obviously with that mess of a background, we have plenty of orange on there. But I promise, once you got everything on top, it barely peeks through and you can't even see it. I know it looks like a hot mess. It's really not my favorite, but it looks cool once we get everything on top. And it does blend in with the edges of the paper, which I also like. Yeah. So these were taken, his team was called the Tiny Chicken Nuggets. And they made it to the championship game, and so unfortunately they only got second place, But it was an exciting season. We definitely didn't expect that out of this team, but they surprised us, and it was a fun team to watch. And they really were working together well there at the end. So it was fun. Hopefully he'll play again another season. But he got a medal, so that's what he's holding up in that photo. And now I'm going to add my title. So it's He's a Keeper. I'm going to just put the smaller alphas alongside that journaling and start embellishing. So I lay down the stickers, their card slot stickers, and then I go through and kind of place all my die cuts on the page. Oh, and that fun banner was also in the die cut back, and it matched so perfectly. I just had to use it. And there, you can see I added all the stars. And then I also die cut out those black stars from a die I have, just to add another splash of black. And I really like the different type of star that adds. So now we are gluing everything down. And then I'm like, oh, we have the layout almost completely done. Why don't we add stamped stars? So I add a few more stickers there. I love those little like typewriter stickers. And then I find a star stamp, and I decide to just dress it up with some black stars and add those all around. So I don't recommend doing that, or I recommend doing it before you've glued everything down, but nothing went wrong. It didn't ruin my page. I just had to lift a few things up to get an image on there, and at the end I just start stamping on top of things. But anyway, I'm really happy with how this page turned out. I love Cocoa Vanilla. It's very versatile. You could really use these papers for so many themes of stories that you need to tell in your scrapbooking. So I'm going to stick my affiliate link for A Cherry on Top down in the description box. So if you need to go pick up your own Cocoa Vanilla or all of the mini items that they have in the store, they have so much stuff, guys. Just use that link, and I'd really appreciate it. I'd also love you if you would subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.